Hey guys, so this is what Robin had all for one part 2, guys. So guys, basically after this video I'm gonna be uploading 2 more videos tonight, or probably tomorrow night, because tomorrow I don't know if I'm going to be going to my friend's main event, because I don't even know. But basically, yeah, so basically also for what was it? Also for the other part, um, basically for the other half or other part of that, basically what's gonna be going on is that, probably like it's tonight. I'm probably gonna be uploading, but probably not, since I am going to try to watch Shang-Chi tonight, or probably tomorrow if I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. So yeah, so basically, guys, I will be uploading tomorrow or tonight. What if um Deku was a Greek legend, and also what if Deku was a Greek legend in part 3, and also what if Deku was Mystique's son. I'm also gonna be uploading what if I'm also gonna be uploading what if Duke Thomas, look him up, his hero name is the Siren from DC Comics, from the Bat Family, was in Young Justice season 1 or season 2, but not season 3. Season 3 is my least favorite season. So basically, let's get into it, guys. So basically, we start our story off with Robin, and we last left off at the end of episode 3, where Robin pretty much, tested out his abilities more. Now, Robin tested out his abilities, and it was able to basically, what was it? Was able to basically slightly mimic the pretty much abilities of the robot for a short amount of time. If we don't know the little bits of Robin's abilities, they're a little bit tweaked from the main abilities of All for One. Basically, he is able to basically mimic the abilities, or take, or like semi take the, pretty much mimic the abilities of objects with superhuman abilities or powers, like Green Lantern ring, or pretty much anything like anything artificial, basically like a Green Lantern, or basically something like a um, Flashpoint ring, or something like a really powerful, pretty much type of, pretty much material like gold or silver or anything like that. Also, he can mimic the pretty much abilities of something like Red Tornado, or something artificial. And also, he still can, take abilities from metas, and also other humans, or anything that's superhuman compared to human levels, or pretty much compared to basically Robin's mental state. If he thinks it's superhuman, or if it is superhuman, he can take it. So basically, let's get into it, guys. Basically, we last left off of season 1, episode 2. I mean, episode 3, the end of it, where Superboy apologized to Megan. Now we switch back to episode, basically, 4, Drop Zone. Now we start our story off with Bane fighting some sort of villain with a blockbuster serum, or some sort of villain with some sort of serum like it. Now we can switch back to, basically, after that scene, we can switch back to the cave, and basically we can switch back to the pretty much Mount Justice. And at that point, Robin was actually training by himself. Now, Robin was training his physical body to the point, and since Robin already had the strength of the first blockbuster serum, he had all the powers of it. Now, he would be called in by some sort of mission, and they would all give a mission for a drop zone as some sort of, covert mission. Now, basically, Robin would also have a flashback. That flashback would, pretty much start off with Robin training, but it would eventually, launch into Robin basically, being told, or the team being told, about missions, and also coordinates to go to a pretty much power plant based on an island, to basically find out information and a covert mission. Now, basically, Batman would tell them about the mission, and that it's no out of the mill stuff, just a covert, get information and come back. Basically saying, don't make a big scene. Now, they would have point B and point A for them to drop off on the drop zone and to get their information. Now, Robin would love this because he would also have another, excuse to try to find new abilities, since he did make, a pretty claim suggestion that it might be super powered, people on that island that you can probably take some abilities from, or super powered villains that you can take abilities from. Now, basically, Robin would have pretty much, what was it? Would have actually went down into water area with Aqualad, but who gets stopped when Megan tells him that Aqualad got this. Now Robin would be, would stop that because he was anxious to, try to make more abilities, but he knew that at that point he was too anxious and he was stupid since he didn't really have any, Atlantean powers. So they went to the point B, or pretty much their drop zone, and basically Robin went in his stealth suit. Now, basically, they were all given clamps, but Robin didn't take it because he wanted to try out a new type of skill. Now, basically, all of them would try out their stealth gear, and basically, well, pretty much Superboy wouldn't try out his because he didn't need it. So basically, they would have gotten ready. So basically they got ready and they would have got off of the ship, basically, pretty much lying down. Now Robin would have jumped down using losing his athleticism plus his increased and enhanced agility, speed, and reflexes from the Blockbuster serum that he took the powers from, and basically would have, slightly perfectly landed on a branch of a tree, but would have fallen through it since he did use some super strength to break the tree. Now, pretty much, no, Robin didn't make that much noise, but Superboy did when he, pretty much caused a seismic event and should have just jumped on the ground, making a crater. Now, they would have made their coordinates and they would have gone down to the coordinates. They would have all snuck in through the moon nights, and basically they would have gone through cliffs and stuff like that to get to their area. And Robin would be moving a lot faster past them since he already had his really, enhanced strength and also agility and speed and slight invulnerability as in the Blockbuster serum. But also on top of that, he also still had, Robin. Robin was still Robin. He still had the Batman training. So basically, they would have, looked for Batman. They would have looked for Robin when they found out Robin was just gone. Now, basically, they would have got ready, and pretty much Superboy would have used his X-ray vision to see that it was two groups of people aligning on each other, and they were about to, have a full-on shootout. Basically, Wally would have tried to get some more information and would have ran off where the shooting was, but he would have slipped on some mud and he would have fell right in front of, the man from the beginning, Bane, or just a unserum, unserum Bane. Now basically Bane would have looked at him and, was shot at him, and Wally would have been saved in that moment. Now basically Wally was about to get shot by pretty much Bane, and basically out of that way, Superboy, Robin would have seen this in the shadows, but basically then they would have pretty much aligned, or basically just move into the two zones that were shooting at each other, and basically would have taken them out. Superboy went in there and just straight up just punching all of them, and pretty much Robin jumping out from the shadows and fighting as well, pretty much being kind of angry at them, saying that, why you not follow my lead? Basically, pretty much Flash as he was fighting other people, Kid Flash as he was fighting other people, saying that pretty much follow your lead, bro. You just disappeared. How are we supposed to follow your lead? Now, basically, Robin was dodging more attacks, but eventually just took some of the bullets and got out of the way. His suit being a little bit ripped, but him just not really caring. Now, basically, he would have grabbed his utility belt, and it would have pretty much, re-healed his suit. Now, basically, we did it. Basically, episode 3 and episode 4 would have a time gap of a couple weeks, and Robin would actually have, or would have enhanced his abilities. Now, he had all the powers of Blockbuster with, pretty much the basic abilities of, a super being with slight invulnerability, durability, speed, and strength, but also has super reflexes since he already had crazy training from Batman, plus the strength that he got from the Blockbuster serum. Imagine Batman with Superman's powers. I would literally be a god. But yeah, whatever. So basically, pretty much Robin would have been dodging more bullets, just him having that muscle memory, and also since bullets still did hurt him, even though they didn't pierce his skin or killed him. And basically, Robin, Robin would have still gotten to fighting position and would have took down more villains really quickly, punching them through trees, throwing them through rocks, and straight up just karate chopping them in the neck, and pretty much karate chops for pretty much Robin with his super strength. It felt like two grown men would drop kick you in the neck. So basically, most people passed out, and pretty much Robin started to just take them out. And basically, Robin eventually, took most of, but all of them out. And basically, they took most of them out, and pretty much took Bane as a hostage. Now they did get in the same type of argument about who should be, the team leader, and basically Robin, taught himself that he's the team leader since he is the most qualified, the most trained, and on top of that, he's the most powerful. And basically, Kid Flash would have said, "Really? Are you serious? I can run circles in you in seconds." And basically, Robin's saying, "Circles, I can take your powers. You're nothing but a person to me. You're nothing but a human." Now, basically, Robin would be kind of confused why he even said that in the first place. But basically, Robin would have shrugged that off, telling pretty much Wally that you are nothing compared to me. I can literally take the powers of all the Justice Leaguers and destroy the planet if I really wanted to. Basically, him making huge statements that he is the strongest being in this universe. He can have any power he ever wanted, or any power he wants, including yours. And basically, Robin would have tried to taunt Wally, trying to touch him, trying to take his abilities away, trying to mess with him. Wally getting kind of angry and saying to stop. Now they would have started arguing more and more about who should be the team leader, but eventually they would see that they would eventually see that basically what was it? They would eventually see that basically Bane was talking about them. Megan would try to get information from pretty much Bane telepathically, trying to read his mind, but Bane would have already trained his mind not to be read. Basically, just thinking about one thing only. And basically, Megan would have said I couldn't find anything. Basically, them taking Bane as another, thing, as well, basically a hostage, or basically just, a guidance man. And basically, they would have, taken Bane, and Bane would have shown them the way inside the plant or pretty much area. Pretty much, they would have gone in there, and the Cobra Master would have seen them, or would have seen them come in by some sort of binoculars. Now, basically, oh, sorry guys, not the Cobra Master, Robin would. Now, basically, pretty much Bane found a way in by a rock and basically got in there. Now, basically, they would have gone into the area. Basically, Robin passing by Wally being a kind of spectacle. Now, Robin would have been looking around, and basically, pretty much, Bane would have found a way inside the base, basically using his thumbprint to open it up. So basically, they would have been in the plant. Basically, Flash looking for, or just running in with. When Kid Flash is running in without any plan with his super speed. Basically, us getting switched back to Robin using his smoke pretty much smoke gas battering to take down one of the guards on the computers to go into the computer and hack it. Now they would have seen pretty much crates and stuff like that being transported by the pretty much Cobra, by pretty much a League of Assassins or just Cobra, and basically they would have asked Bane a question. But they would soon see that it was something in the sky, and they would hear a helicopter landing. Basically, Robin would be looking at the components in the computer and seeing what they were making. But basically, Kid Flash would have ran in there and pretty much asked them, would pretty much ask Robin what was going on. Now, Robin would have said that they were mixing the venom and also the blockbuster serum together to basically make the perfect type of serum or curation. Basically saying that it was some sort of experiment, and they've made the serum and it's perfected. Basically, him saying, we gotta stop this." Now, basically, pretty much Sportsmaster would show up in the helicopter. I'm basically talking to the Cobra Master, alongside the Cobra Master having pretty much the big giant monster man that took the new Cobra serum, and basically Sportsmaster took pretty much a sample of it. They didn't really take it, just took a vial of it and looked at it. And basically, he would have looked at it and said, "This is pretty helpful." Basically, talking to the Cobra Master. Now Megan would have, showed a sidekick picture to Aqualad about who was there, and basically Aqualad would have told him that Sportsmaster was here. Now they would have called in the rest of the pretty much group for pretty much telling them to stay clear and to put their guard up. Now basically they would have gotten ready, but pretty much Bane would have made a distraction, or would have just ran in and would have fought. Now basically they would have fought, and one of the men would have shot off bullets, and pretty much they would have hurt this. Pretty much, the man from the beginning with a pretty much Cobra serum would jump in and would have was about to fight Superboy and Aqualad. Now Superboy went toe to toe with with pretty much the serum user, and basically Aqualad would have used his pretty much Aqua things to basically take down more of the guards and trying to hold his own. Megan would have flown into the warehouse, but basically Sportsmaster would have seen her even through her camouflaged powers. And basically, we was seeing Superboy go toe to toe with the serum user still. But basically, Sportsmaster would have took out his spear and would have gotten a clean shot on Megan. But Megan would have dodged it last second. But when it was passing by her, it blew up and pushed her into some sort of buildings. Robin would have seen this Robin would have ran into the building with pretty much Kid Flash, and basically would have had a smirk on his face and would have gotten into, pretty much a fight or altercation, would have gotten into, a fight. Basically, he would have ran off, and basically Kid Flash would have been, basically dodging more bullets and attacks. Now, Robin would have came out of the building and would have seen Cobra Master, and basically was, about to fight him. And basically, Cobra Master sent his goon, or his right-hand woman, onto Robin. And this woman, the redhead chick from the beginning of the episode, pretty much started to, fight Robin. Robin got out of the way, pretty much getting told by Aqualad and smoke bombing. And basically, we switch back into the building, with basically Aqualad and the rest of the team taking down more of the Cobra men and pretty much goons. Them getting out of the way, and pretty much Superboy trying to make more, pretty much stuff. And basically, Superboy locked the door behind them, and basically they busted through the door pretty quickly and started to go after them. Now basically, pretty much Robin was running and running and running. Basically, Robin, running faster than he was originally canon because he still has super strength and he was using it in his legs. Now basically, he started running and running, and eventually they got into like a dead end. Not really a dead end, but the pretty much entrance, or the pretty much entrance they came into was, blocked off. But they still had a way to get out. But they were talking about the whole entire mission and everything, about who should be the leader. Now they had a whole entire conversation, and Robin was very, intimate on him being the leader, since he had the most power out of all of them, and was the most trained. Basically, him saying that, it has to be you. Basically, him pushing aside his ignorance, or basically Robin pushing aside his whole entire, newfound ignorance he got with the powers. Basically saying and telling Aqualad that you're the most, calm-minded, and you are, the most understanding. Pretty much saying that Aqualad should be the leader, and everybody agrees with that. And basically, Aqualad takes this lower ship as the leader, and Robin is happy about this. Now they get into, a complication, and they make a mission, and they pretty much make a plan. We see pretty much Sportsmaster say the helicopter is somewhat, pretty much, destroyed of some sorts, or pretty much damaged, and basically the redhead chick, Cobra Master, tells her to pretty much repair the helicopter alongside other Cobra pretty much goons. And basically Robin starts hacking into the mainframe, or just trying to read up some stuff about the place, but they are running, and basically they get to the pretty much in, or the entrance out, but they see Bane serumed up, basically pretty much getting ready to take him out. Now basically Bane pretty much having a bunch of detonators near the entranceway trying to block them in. Now basically Kid Flash is told telepathically by pretty much Aqualad to, make a plan to take down Bane, and pretty much as Bane's telling his whole entire story about how blah blah blah, and pretty much saying how he wants to take back this building, saying his whole entire plan like a dummy. Basically, as soon as he's about to press the detonator, Kid Flash grabs it out of his hand, saying, "You're looking for this." Pretty much, Bane tries to punch Wally, but gets caught by some sort of telepathic, pretty much, wave. Basically, him going floating in the air. Pretty much, Silver Boy telling Megan to drop him. When basically Silver Boy, as Bane's dropped, he uppercuts him right in the face and knocks the wind out of his windpipes. Now, pretty much Robin sees this and pretty much just scoffs, saying, "I can do a better job." Pretty much Silver Boy saying, "What do you mean?" Pretty much them getting kind of angry at each other, but Robin just telling him that I'm choking with you. Basically, him, walking off and then going back on the mission. And basically, we see them go back to the main area where the helicopter is, and basically we see them start the fight with the Cobra Master. Now we need Sportsmaster to take out some laser blasters to take down Silver Boy, or just straight up just pretty much round blasting Silver Boy. Now Megan usually uses her abilities against Sportsmaster, but she gets caught by Sportsmaster and pretty much just choking her out, as also at the same time he's shooting Silver Boy as well, taking both of them, or keeping both of them down. Now Robin, with pretty much Cobra Master, or the Master of the Cobras, basically he gets into a fighting stance, and Robin goes to fight him. But he keeps on getting caught down and pretty much kicked back, and Robin sees that he's not enough and pretty much starts to turn on his abilities and gets ready to fight him with his combat training plus his pretty much powers. Now basically, Aqualad makes a telepathic remark to, or pretty much talks to Robin, telling Robin to pretty much, as you're done, come over here. Basically telling Robin to try to go near the other, serum user and try to take his pretty much, powers away from him, so he won't be able to do any more harm. And basically, pretty much Megan sees that Sportsmaster ran off, but as Megan was pretty much messing with Sportsmaster, she took his detonator away and basically blew up, the helicopter. The helicopter started going down, but Sportsmaster was smart enough to jump out of it and get to safety by a parachute. Now, pretty much it blew up and fell on top of the pretty much ship, and pretty much Bane was incredibly angry by this. And basically, Robin started to basically go toe-to-toe with the Cobra Master instead of him getting pretty much dominated by him. Basically, him using his increased, Robin, training plus his super strength, and was able to almost take down Cobra Master when Cobra Master stabbed Robin in the chest. Since Robin wasn't really using most of his abilities, Robin packed up with the rest of his team, and they were about to close in on Cobra Master. But Cobra Master got out of the way, knowing that Robin was a pretty, big, fighting, pretty much a really big heavy hitter, plus his team against him would have been a really, big, lose. Robin would have walked past Aqualad, saying, "Let's get on the show. Let's get out of here, guys." And basically him grabbing the Venom user and basically taking his abilities away. Now basically Robin having the abilities of Blockbuster plus extra strength, agility, and speed, he was basically incredibly strong at this point. But it wasn't as strong as a full-on Kryptonian. But what about like a 90% of one? Now basically we would have seen pretty much for this pretty much thing, Robin would have only been able to use one of his abilities at the same time, meaning that he could only use the other Blockbuster's abilities, or just Blockbuster, pretty much individually. So he can switch to strength to strength at once, but he can't use abilities. He can't use abilities all at the same time, or else he'll overload, or basically he'll just go into like a comatose state, or just lose a lot of energy if he uses more abilities at once. Now we can switch back to Sportsmaster talking to the light, and basically the light is shown, or is told about Robin's newfound abilities, or about how Robin, the Boy Wonder, has some sort of super strength now. Now basically, we get switched off the end of episode 4, and we get switched to episode 5, Scold. Now basically, We will get switched to Metropolis in the beginning of the episode with a school bus almost being, almost driving off the edge of the pretty much bridge and it almost falling off and pretty much, all the kids almost dying. Basically, Zero Boy showing up right after Superman actually shows up and tries to save the bus. But basically, Superboy pretty much getting towards the bus. Now, basically, we see Superboy and Robin, Superboy and Superman pretty much have a whole entire conversation. Kind of have a type of argument with each other. Now, basically, we get switched to Superboy just flying off. Oh no, Superman just flying off away from Superboy, and then we get switched to basically the fire intro of season 1, and basically that's what would happen. Now, basically for we get switched up to Mount Justice August 13th, and basically we see Aqualad pretty much playing air hockey with Kid Flash. Now they're playing, but they see Zero Boy come through the boom tube and basically get super angry at them. Well, not really angry at them, just angry in general. Now, basically, we see pretty much Black Canary and Martian Manhunter walk into pretty much the training area or the main hall where the boom tubes are, and basically is getting them ready for training. Zero Boy getting kind of angry and just not really listening that much. Basically, Zero Boy walking off, pretty much being kind of jealous at the whole entire relationship Megan has with her, idol, pretty much, her, uncle. Now, basically, we see Black Canary get ready for training, and pretty much Black Canary takes off her jacket, pretty much seeing a bandage on her arm. Basically, Megan asking, what happened to you? Basically, her saying the job. And basically, they started to get ready, and they pretty much, she actually calls up for Robin to fight her first, or Robin volunteers first to take her down. Now, basically, Wally doesn't volunteer yet, but basically, Wally gets ready and they get started. Now, basically, Wally, gets pretty much pounded on his butt, basically getting taken down by Black Canary pretty fast. Wally gets back up saying, I fell grace. Basically, pretty much Robin going next. Now, basically, I did say Robin was going to go first, but Robin was actually, taken down. I'm pretty much told by Wally that he was going to go first. Now, Wally went first, and he was still taken down pretty quickly. And basically, Robin got into a fighting stance with Black Canary. Black Canary, went up against Robin, and Robin started to dodge more attacks, pretty much knowing the whole entire thing about not letting your opponent dictate the fight. Now, basically, Robin starts dodging more attacks, and eventually grabs Black Canary with his combined strength in only one arm, basically almost having his arm a little bit, pretty much Robin isn't able to really use all of his powers if he, builds up enough at once, but he can use them all in one body part though. Now, basically, Robin uses his combined strength of the Blackbuster Serum and also the other pretty much power he got earlier from episode 4, and used his strength in his left forearm to basically grab Black Canary from the arm and throw her up against the wall, basically almost knocking her out. Getting back up pretty quickly, just shrugging off the pain, saying good job. And basically, Robin smirking at this, looking at Wally, saying that's how you do it. Basically, Wally saying it's not fair. You have super strength, bro. And basically, pretty much Superboy is told by what was it? It's basically told by basically told by Black Canary, you're up next. And basically, Superboy and Black Canary start to fight. Now, they were about to fight, but when they get stopped with basically a type of distress call by pretty much Batman, or pretty much a mission from Batman saying that they have to escort pretty much the pieces of Amazo. Amazo is an android that was basically able to mimic the abilities of Justice League and mimic the abilities of all of its components, or pretty much fighting, or pretty much, it's pretty much, fighters or its enemies, and basically take them out. It took a bunch of Justice Leaguers and 8 hours, and basically to take it down and disassemble it. So basically, they have four ships. They have four ships, or not four cars or trucks that have decoy trucks and also the real deal, and they're gonna be escorting the real trucks. into different teams. Now, if you've seen episode 5, you know what I'm talking about. Now, basically, we get switched back. We get switched back to pretty much them, well, getting ready for the whole entire, mission. Now, basically, Robin would have still had his whole entire, pretty much same outfit with the pretty much, the jacket thing, and they would have gotten ready to, pretty much start the mission. Or it would actually be 6 trucks, though. But yeah, so basically, you could switch to basically Robin and Superboy going on their mission, and pretty much following after the pretty much truck. And they would soon see that and pretty much bionic monkeys started to, flood or try to get towards the pretty much truck. Now, basically, Superboy would have seen this and would have, said, "I hate monkeys," and basically Robin would have told Superboy to go into battle mode on your helicopter, on your pretty much motorcycle. Basically, Robin going in, pretty much motorcycle mode in his helicopter. I mean, on his motorcycle, but basically, pretty much Superboy saying no need and just jumping off his motorcycle. Robin would have had to jump off of his motorcycle since his Superboy's motorcycle fell into his. So basically, he would have jumped on top of the pretty much truck using his strength to basically grind his fingers into the back of the truck, and pretty much would have started to take down the robots pretty quickly. Now, basically, he would have dodged more of the robots, but he would have grabbed one of the robots, mimicking their abilities, basically mimicking the laser vision of the robots and also their jetpack abilities. Basically, him growing bone-like jetpack things on his back, basically that are able to make fire out of the pretty much chemicals in your body, like pretty much the stuff you eat or whatever. Now, basically, Robin was also given laser vision from the robots for about a couple minutes. Basically, he started taking down more robots, lasering them down, blasting them, and basically started to take them out quickly and quicker. And basically, Robin was about to basically just take him out, just straight up, and it was so close. But when more out of nowhere, just more and more and more robots just start coming out of nowhere. Now, basically, we will switch back to basically the other team with Megan, Kid Flash, and Aqualad basically fighting the robots and seeing that it was a lot of robots. The robots would have gotten away with with pretty much the pieces, and basically, Aqualad would have stopped seeing that the mission was a fail. Now, Robin and Superboy was so close to finishing the mission when out of nowhere, even more, just straight up a whole army, a whole swarm of these robot monkeys came out of nowhere and basically lasered down the ship. Lasered down the truck, pretty much taking down the pretty much wheels, and Robin would have ran out of his whole entire robot abilities and would have just grabbed the pretty much driver to get him in safety. Now, basically, we would have seen the truck flip over and the robots getting the ship pieces, or pretty much Amazo's pieces, and flying off. Superboy being filled with anger, not willing to let it go. Basically, him jumping after the robots. Now, basically, Superboy, pretty much Robin would have said to stop. Basically, Robin following after Superboy actually, but also grabbing one of the robot pretty much bodies. And basically, he would have grabbed them and he would have super jumped after Superboy. And basically, as he was jumping, he would have soon pretty much, would have hacked into the pretty much monkey thing, basically stopping a few minutes after pretty much, Superboy basically having a little bit more groundwork to try to hack into the monkey, telling them that the monkeys had a GPS thing on the pieces of Amazo and that Ivo was following them. And it didn't matter if, it was even more decoy ships. They didn't get lucky. They knew where the real pieces were. Now, basically, we would get switched to basically Robin saying that, the monkeys are pretty much their coordinates they're going towards, or they're lining up towards Gotham City. Now, basically, Kid Flash, Robin, they would get sent to basically, pretty much Gotham City, and we would get switched back to basically Bruce Wayne, and pretty much Clark Kent talking about Superboy, and basically saying that Superboy is your responsibility, and that you need to pretty much talk to him. And basically, as we get switched back to some sort of train, and we see it's in Gotham City. We see basically the robots show up in one of the train cars, basically having Amazo's pretty much parts in it. Now Superboy jumps into the cart where the robots were and gets into a fighting stance. And he sees Ivo with a bunch of robots just right next to him, or a bunch of the robotic monkeys right next to him. Now we get switched off, and we see pretty much Robin using his super strength to jump, and we see him jump into the cart right behind Superboy's, and we see him now seeing Superboy. So he pretty much runs to the next cart into the same cart, but at that time, Amazo punched Superboy out of the cart at the same time, pretty much knocking Superboy onto the ground and knocking Superboy on top of Robin. Now basically, Amazo would have started to take them out both and would have thrown both of them towards pretty much Robin's school. Robin, looking as they were falling down or getting thrown into the other building, looking around and recognizing that this was his school. Now basically, they would have pretty much Robin would have been gotten back up, and him and Superboy would have tried to double tag Amazo. But Amazo would have already mimicked Superboy and pretty much Robin's abilities. Now Robin was using Blockbuster's strength instead of the other serum user in episode 4's strength. And basically, him and Robin were pretty much getting double tagged and pretty much started getting jumped by Amazo. Now Amazo was about to finish Robin instead of Superboy, but when out of nowhere, pretty much Kid Flash got in the way and pretty much grabbed Robin out of the way. Superboy, Kid Flash, and Robin started to get mollywopped by pretty much Amazo over and over again. The fight went on continuously, the same type of way like in canon, but pretty much Robin was using his pretty much strength to go toe to toe with Amazo more and more, switching to another form of strength. Basically, him pretty much dodging more and more attacks, and pretty much Robin looking around saying that I can probably, do something right now. So basically, Robin sees that Amazo has all the abilities of the Justice Leaguers. So basically, Robin has an idea. And pretty much Robin tells Superboy to get him close to Amazo, real close. Now basically, Kid Flash says, I could do that, pretty much grabbing Superboy, pretty much grabbing Robin Cradle style, or pretty much Princess style, and running as fast as he can straight towards Amazo. And basically, Superboy makes a plan to himself to basically focus his strength, and he goes after Ivo. Now, Ivo tells Amazo to protect him, priority A or priority Alpha, but basically, he's stopped, or almost gets stopped, or pretty much gets slowed down by basically Robin trying to get close to Amazo. Now, Robin runs towards Amazo, basically using some of his pretty much strength, or most of his strength, to push off of Kid Flash or Wally's shoulders, or basically his arms, and basically get on top of Amazo on the shoulders and started to grab Amazo and try to just take all of his abilities or all of his powers. Now basically, he tries to take take his abilities, but it's too much for him. He does, pretty much mimic half of the abilities of the Justice Leaguers until his body starts to feel overwhelming power and he's almost about to explode. Basically, Robin saying, I just have to mimic one more. Basically, pretty much Robin trying to mimic Superboy's, pretty much trying to mimic all of Superman's abilities that Amazo has already mimicked. And basically, he tries to take all of Amazo's abilities, but Amazo grabs Robin and throws him off, but it's too late, and Amazo shuts down when he gets pretty much punched in the face and destroyed by Superboy, when basically us getting shown that Amazo is just a normal robot now, since he was taken out and now he lost all of his abilities, and basically pretty much he didn't use all of his abilities. His abilities were just taken out of his body because Robin took most of his abilities. And since Amazo abilities were mainly half of the time organic, basically, not really organic, pretty much his abilities were very powerful, so they were strong enough or close enough to actual power for Robin to mimic them. But since it was so much, Robin had to disperse it, and basically all the power Robin took away from Amazo went back to his dead, destroyed body, but since it was destroyed, the powers were lost forever. And basically, Robin did, touch pretty much Amazo one last time before, before they pretty much, took him apart, and did feel power still in him. So basically, what I'm trying to say here, at any time, if Robin could come or get to Amazo's body, he could mimic some of the powers of the Justice Leaguers from Amazo's body. So what Robin did, he actually took the hand of Amazo and snuck it, or pretty much pocket picked it into his utility belt, and basically that was enough for him to get about half of the abilities of the Justice Leaguers in Amazo's hand. Now basically, from that point, Superboy and pretty much Aqualad, Megan, pretty much they would show up, and basically Robin and them would have still, tried to basically disassemble Amazo. Now, basically, they would get scolded, but they would say it was a very good job with them, and they took him out pretty quickly. Basically, Batman taking Robin aside, telling Robin that you were very brave today, telling Robin that don't let your powers get the best of you. And basically, Robin would have known this. Basically, him telling Batman that it was too much. I felt like a god. I felt like I could dictate anybody's life. When I took the abilities of Amazo for just a split second, I couldn't even use them since, well, I lost the abilities, but his abilities are still in the body. I'm basically not really telling pretty much Robin didn't tell Batman since didn't tell Batman that he took, Amazo's hand. But basically, Robin told Batman that, well, I just felt too powerful for my own good. But also, after that, Robin did tell Batman that, well, we can't trust you anymore since you guys are, following us. Basically, him taking out an arrow that was, in the fight later on, basically telling them that, your guy Green Arrow was spying on us. Now, Green Arrow sets out a different arrow, and he shows them that that's not his arrow, and they think it's Speedy that saved them. Now we get switched off to the end of episode 5, and I'm going to leave it off here, guys, since it's already been 2 episodes, and my voice I'm super parched at this point. So basically, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you guys like and subscribe, and tomorrow or tonight, I will be uploading what if, um, I will be uploading what if, Duke Thomas was in Young Justice, or what if Deku was a Greek legend. No, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye. And I also will be uploading what if Daredevil and pretty much Punisher was in Young Justice, but I'm going to be going for like the teenage versions of them, but with their abilities with them. So yeah. So let's get into it, guys. So I hope you guys like and subscribe, all you guys. And also, guys, click the notification bell, because we all know YouTube is trash at sending notifications sometimes. So yeah. See you guys later. Bye. And as always, guys, have a blessed day.